My name isn't Megan Good, but 9 times out of 10, if you're watching this video, you just got served. In this video, I'll be showing you all the steps you need to take to reply to a debt collection agency if you received a summons in the mail, or if you looked up and seen that you have a default judgment entered against you. For those that are new here, I'm Dee Rich, and I help entrepreneurs level up their side hustles with the help of credit and the power of automation. I believe small steps lead to big wins, and we're all about building that rich boss lifestyle over here from the ground up. So let's get into it. So I'm going to show you a checklist that I have created, and I'm going to show you step by step the things that you need to do to reply to your summons or your default judgment. The main tool that we're going to be using in this video is Michigan Legal Help. This is not a sponsored video. You can use this even if you do not live in Michigan, because it shows you how you need to fill out your forms. So without further ado, let's just get into it. So very first thing to do is like and subscribe if you have not already, and make sure you join my free credit repair group on Facebook, Clueless About Credit Repair, also known as Credit Repair Tips and Tricks, how to get a 750 in 90 days, where you can find this right here, or you can go to my website, go to the shop tab, and find it under the freebies. But again, let's get into it. So the very first thing that you need to do is make sure that you read your summons carefully and thoroughly, okay? And note the deadline. They are banking on you not to respond whatsoever, so that they can enter a default against you and boom, take your money and wage garnishment. Okay, so just replying is the very first step. And places like Michigan Legal Gov, or whatever the name of the site is that I'm about to pull back up, have made it so easy for us to just take matters into our own hands and take our power back. So let's do it. So again, you also want to be prepared to consult with the attorney, just in case you want to go to court and you do not want to litigate yourself. There's a lot of information online about what you need to say if you want to litigate yourself. I myself am not an attorney, and I want to put that disclaimer out there before we continue with this video. The next thing you need to do is prepare a response, prepare your forms, and send them out. Here are some things that you can include in your reply. The debt is not yours. The account is incorrect. The statute of limitations has expired. The collection agency might lack the legal right to sue you, because you always want to make sure that they have the right to collect in your state. And then also, if you were not served properly, if they did not put that paperwork in your hand, you were not served properly. You should not be finding your paperwork in the bushes, tied to your door, or handed to somebody else. It should also be sent with certified mail. So let's walk through the steps. We're going to file a complaint with the court. The court then sends a copy to the plaintiff's attorney for you. You can include any evidence or relevant documentation that you need to. We're not going to, for the sake of this video. Again, show up to court. Show up, especially if it's Zoom court. You have no excuse not to be there. Consider settlement options depending on how big your debt is. If you have a $10, $20, $30, $40,000 debt, maybe you want to settle. If you have a $400 or $500 debt, or even $1,000 debt, you might not want to. That is up to your discretion. Again, make sure you monitor your credit reports, see if the item falls off, or see if there are any inaccuracies. And then you can always file complaints with the BBB or CFPB if necessary. So let's get into Michigan Legal Help. So the very first thing you want to do is scroll all the way down to where you see money, debt, and consumer issues. So let's just, there we go. So these are our options: small claims, debt collection, and foreclosure, garnishment if this is you. But right now we're going to focus on here where we see dealing with the debt before court, defending a case against a debt collection case, because that's where we are now. Setting aside a default, that is if you did not reply to the initial summons, and so forth. So we're going to click on this one. I have been sued to collect a debt. I'm going to knock on wood, but that is the one that you want to select. And now here it's just asking you, do you just want the form filled out, which is this one? Do you just want the articles, more help, or do you want everything? I'm going to say the form, the article, and the instructions. Okay. And again, if you don't live in Michigan, just pick something so that you can get through these steps So we are in Wayne County. Actually, I believe this person was in a different county. And then it's going to show you different articles that you can read that could be helpful for your situation. Articles on how to file your answer to your case, and you can download that. But most importantly, this is our bread and butter. You want to go to the do-it-yourself answer. So now you want to start a new civil answer form, right? We're just going to let it load. Creating an account is optional. I usually do not. So we're going to agree to the terms and services. And they have this beautiful, beautiful system here that is going to walk you through how to fill out your form. So this is your virtual, your virtual attorney, your public defender, whoever you is. She's going to hold your hand through the process. She's going to help us. So let's do it. So the first thing it says is, welcome to Michigan Legal's Help Do-It-Yourself Answer to Complaint on a Debt Tool. We are going to click continue and continue and continue and continue and continue and get to the good stuff. So right now it's just going to ask you your basic information. I'm going to go ahead and pause my camera and enter it, and you do the same. I highly suggest, if you're getting sued, bro, pause this and go get your summons, okay? If you are getting sued, pause this, go get your summons, and go get your computer, put this up on your phone, and pull your computer up, and just do this right now. Like, you really need to get up and respond, because they are banking on you not to, so they can take your money through wage garnishment. So get your ass up and go get your shit, and we're finna do it now. If you have a default, you really, really, really need to be on that, which means if you are watching this video more than 20 days after that paper hit your hand, you're in the default set stage, bro. You really need to be watching this so you can respond. In order to figure out if you are in default, what you can do is search your district court. So if you're in Detroit, that's 36 District Court, or if you don't know, just search Detroit District Court in Google. Whatever pops up, which will be 36 District Court, you go to there and you search case summary, or you go to case search. When you go to case search, you look up your name, or you can look up your court case. I highly recommend just looking up your name, because you might see a whole bunch of stuff you did not know that was there. But that's a story for another day. When you do that, you find your case, you can read your notes, and you can see like the day that they said that they served you XYZ, and see if it says notice of default or motion of default, stuff like that. But to keep this video short, go get your papers. I'm not playing. Let's get started. Alright, so after you enter your personal information, it's going to start asking you information about the court. This is the part when you're not from Michigan. Just put something down so you can get to the most important part, which is your defenses. So I'm going to go ahead and look for the one that applies to the one that I need, which I believe is Shelby. This is where you're going to go ahead and enter your case number. Your case number is usually found at the top of the document in the top left or right hand corner. If you looked up your case and you've seen that you had a default, this is where you'll enter that in. If you've just been served, you don't have a judge name, so you're going to skip it. Is there a plaintiff? It's a person in a company, usually LVNV. Middle fingers to y'all know. Also want to put this out there. If you are a credit repair specialist, credit repair agency, beware LVNV and resurgent when you see those on your clients' credit profiles. LVNV, resurgent, portfolio, they know to come knocking at your door. LVNV not gonna take it off. They're gonna leave it on your report and they're gonna knock at your door. But resurgent, they'll take it off, but just know they coming to knock. So just wanted to throw that out there. LV Bundy. Where my music at? This one is optional if the plaintiff has a lawyer. I'm just going to go ahead and enter in their information. Now it's just going to ask you when you got the complaint, so you want to go ahead and enter that information in. So you want to pick if the complaint was mailed to you and you had to sign for it, or if it was given to you personally. So it's telling you this is where you have to file, which was my day today. And let's go ahead. Oh, let me go back because I forgot. I'm just going a little too fast. Put my speaker voice on. A complaint consists of several numbered paragraphs. Respond to each paragraph one at a time. Agree, disagree, do not know, right? Do not agree with anything unless you know it's true. Do not disagree with anything unless you know it's not true. If you do not know, say you do not know. All right. Let's give this thing a go. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Did you read and understand the instructions? Yes. Yes. Okay, look at the complaint you got. How many numbered paragraphs does it have? Remember that part where I said go get that paperwork and have it in your hand? If you listen, you thank me. So page 1 is going to be a copy of the summons or the thing, the little, courty stuff, right? On page 2, you're going to see a list of items. So let's see. All right, boom, I just clicked up something real good for you. So you should have something that looks like this. This is your complaint. This is what we're basing our answers on. So you see the numbers 1 through 4, probably going to get a list of like 8 because there is more pages. This is what you're responding to. This is do you know? Do you know who you are? Do you know the name of the account? Do you know where you live? So this is what you're responding to. So it's asking how many numbers we have. For my specific instance, I have 9. Carefully read the first paragraph of the complaint. Do you agree with the statements in that paragraph? Are you the defendant of the account in question? I don't know if I'm the defendant, because who are these people? Or if you know, let them know you know. Okay? The second one is asking you about your address. Is your address on the complaint where you actually live? That's a yes or no question. The third one, the amount in controversy exclusive of interest and cost is less than blah, 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 blah. I don't know. They didn't really provide any statements with this, so I don't know if that's what I owe. So, yeah. Carefully read the fourth paragraph of the complaint. Do you agree with the statements? Defendant's account formerly with XYZ Bank, account number blah blah blah, was opened on this date. An agreement was delivered to the defendant into the pause because it's multiple pages into the that's it. Oh, sorry guys. Into the what? I probably should just put this up in front of you guys. Yeah, that'll probably help. There we go. Defendant's account formerly with blank was opened on blank. An agreement was delivered to the defendant and to the best of plaintiff's knowledge in defendant's possession. Who remembers what day they opened up an account? That's nuts. I don't remember what color underwear I got on. I don't know. Okay. Let's go to the 6th one. Let's pull this up for you guys. Hoping that you guys can see this screenshot. If not, I will put it up next to the video. So number 5, defendant and or authorized user used the account and failed to make payments as agreed upon. The account is in default. I don't know. Let's pull it up again. There is now due and owing the balance of this amount. I don't know. Like I said, they didn't give me no statements. They just put some papers on the porch. And so I was told. Number 7, defendant has failed to object the accuracy of billings to send to the defendant and has otherwise assented to the balance and has failed, refused, or neglected to pay the balance due and owing to the plaintiff. What does that mean? That's saying you failed to object the accuracy of billing. So you failed to say that this is not what you owed when they reached out to you. And as such, you are agreeing that is what you owe. That's a no. That's a no. Right? Okay. So when you put I don't know, they're going to ask you why. So I'm just going to say I don't know who these people are and I did not receive a bill. And I'm going to leave it spelled wrong so they know that I'm a real person. Okay, now we're going to go to number 8. The account has been stated between two parties. What does that even mean, right? So I had to look it up. An agreement between two parties who have had a previous transaction in which they acknowledge and agree to the accuracy of the balance due on the account. The easiest answer for this, brownie points if you get it right. The 9th paragraph. To avoid substantial injustice, the defendant, you, should be required to repay the plaintiff the sum due wherefore. This is going to be my answer. I don't know who this is my porch. Now we're going to see if any defenses are available to you. A defense is a good reason you should not have to pay this debt. Each defense you choose will need a statement of facts. This is 3 to 5 sentence statement describing the facts of the defense and how it applies to your case. If you include a defense in your answer, you will also need to prove it in court. This means you'll need to show any documents and explain under oath why you should not have to pay a debt. So with your defenses, be careful in what you say because you need to prove it under oath. Let's go and continue. Have you completely paid this debt? No. If I have not, the answer put what applies to you. No. Sometimes a creditor will accept partial payment as payment in full. Did you make payments that your creditor accepted as payments in full? Did you make payments on this debt that weren't correctly credited to your account? If you say yes, you're going to have to show proof for that. Is this case about an installment sales contract or a motor vehicle? Do not include mobile homes as vehicles in this question. Is this case about a contract for the sale of goods? A contract for the sale of goods is one to purchase a specific item or items such as a contract to buy furniture. It is not a credit card account. Is this case about a contract for the sale of a mobile home? A complaint related to other debts and contracts must be filed within 6 years of the last activity on the account. If the last activity on the account or contract was more than 6 years before the complaint was filed, you have a defense called the statute of limitations. So basically it's asking you, when was your date of last activity? That is something that you're going to have to look up. You can find that on your credit report. If you don't have your 3B credit reports, log to Experian.com, create a free account. Look on there. If you don't see an Experian, create a free account with TransUnion or Equifax and look at the date of last activity there. See if it's older than 3 years or 6 years. I'm going to double check that for my person. You can also kind of guess this off of the date that it was open. So let's continue. What's this debt discharged in a bankruptcy? The next few questions about this are about the contracts that led to the case. Okay? Were you a minor? You must be mentally competent. If you were not, you need to prove it in court. If you had a hospital stay, cool. You just got to prove it in court. Both parties must agree on the meaning of the contract. You and the other party have the same understanding of the contract when you agree to it. I'm going to say no, there was not a meeting of the minds. I'm going to say there. I don't know who these people are and why this paper was on my porch. There was not a meeting of the minds. Sometimes when people make an agreement and it's not written down correctly, it's called a mutual mistake. No. Sometimes when two parties make an agreement and it's not written down correctly, it can be called a mutual mistake. It's basically saying Does the written contract say what you and the other party meant when you made the agreement? Yes or no? We're just going to say yes here, unless you want to do another one of those. I don't know who these people are, and I just found it. Was the contract extremely unfair or one-sided? So when you get to the end, this is what it looks like. All right. So it says this tool will recreate the forms that you need to file using their filing system. So make sure you download all of your forms at the end. So it's just bringing you to the end of the tool and reminding you to download them. So we're going to click continue. The cool thing is they will automatically e-sign your information for you, but you do get the option to decline it. I'm going to go ahead and approve that. So it says, congratulations, you completely filled out our forms. Let's click continue to get all of our forms, and here we are. We did it. We did it. We did it. We did it. Boom. Now, download your forms. Email your forms. This is really cool if you are a credit repair agency and you're working on behalf of your clients. This is how you can save your answers, and this is how you can edit them. So let's go ahead and download our forms. When you click that, it's going to show you a PDF to get right back, the instructions on how to do it, and then this is the bread and butter. This is the one that you are looking for, so let's go ahead and download it. Now, when we pull it up, what do we see? Our form is already filled out. All we need to do is drop it off to our courthouse. Alright, so in this video, I just showed you how you can respond to a summons from a debt collection agency using a free tool provided by the state of Michigan. If you do not live in the state of Michigan, still use the tool. Look at how this information is framed and copy it to the form needed for your state and drop it off at your local court. So if you enjoyed watching this video, I encourage you to subscribe. If you have any questions regarding the process or what to put on your forms, feel free to drop it in the comment section. See you next week as we lay another brick to our rich boss lifestyle. Thanks for watching.